Hey guys, welcome back to episode 5. I introduced this new playlist recently to share some of my video dog training consults to all my followers and subscribers here on YouTube. And the purpose here is to share some of the conversations and consults I've had with some of my clients to hopefully help all you guys out with some of the trials, tribulations, problems, or whatever's going on in your household to help you with your dogs. In today's video consult, the topics we're going to be covering are So sit back, relax, and enjoy this consult. Okay, Amy, and your name is, sir?
Sean.
John?
Sean.
Oh, Sean, sorry. Okay. Oh, it says it right on the screen, huh?
It's a whole new way of doing things. Huh?
I know. You know, it's funny. I've been doing these Zoom things for a couple of years now, and due to the whole COVID crap, that's all I've been doing lately. So
you were ready to go. You knew how to do this, take it and run. Yeah.
I was. I mean, like I said, I was doing it for a couple of years, but you know, when this whole thing happened, then
yeah,
because I wasn't going anywhere. In fact, I had my first private session today since before the virus started. So.
And you're near Wilmington, is that where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, where are you guys located?
We're in South Orange, New Jersey, in Essex.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, my nephew has a pet store there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Zen Pets.
Of course.
Oh yeah, we know Zen Pets.
Yeah, Omar and my nephew. Yep.
Oh, that's great.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yep. So my wife and I had a holistic pet shop in Bloomfield for 13 years before we moved down here.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So you're having some doggy conflict issues, right?
Yeah, you know, she's a love with people, but she's just, you know, feels the need to scare off, I think, dogs she comes in contact with.
Gotcha. Okay. And she's your only dog, or you have another dog?
I have 3.
Okay. And they coexist peacefully?
They do. You know, it took only really a couple of days for her to accept the other 2 dogs when she came in. There's one that she sort of bosses around a little more than the other. The other is the love of her life, but they coexist really, really well.
Okay, cool. So it's really just strange dogs when you're out and about on walks?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Is it mostly on leash? Have you had the opportunity to have her off leash or?
Off leash is the worst.
Okay.
Yeah, off leash, that's the couple of incidents we've had is she's like seen a dog walk by her house and has pushed past a doorway and run out to chase it down. So on leash, we're loaded with treats. We're plying her. We're telling her she's good. We've been working to try to make it positive when we see dogs, but it's these couple of times she's bolted out of our house and chased down dogs walking by.
All right, and the one you said that she did that, but she never like advanced once she got there.
Oh, she advanced. She's on them, growling, but she doesn't. I mean, she's never drawn blood, right?
Right. Okay. How old is she?
We think she's probably about 5.
Okay, so she's adult. Okay.
But she's on them, growling like crazy, scary. You know, yeah.
Right. Okay. And all right. So when I was alluding to off leash, I meant like out like at a park somewhere where you guys you were interacting with other friendly dogs.
So it's funny. So for a while, it has gotten worse over the course of the year she's been with us. So for a while, she'd go to the dog park, and we'd have to watch her really closely, but she could handle that setting. She went and boarded. There's a place called Doggone Farm here. It's like farm boarding. We had used them forever with our older dogs, and Gabby's really wonderful with dogs, and Stella could go at first, and then she started not being able to go. Or if she went, Gabby had to keep her separate from other dogs.
Was that about 3 years of age?
You know, we've only had her 1 year.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, we've had her 1 year, and it's gotten progressively worse over that year.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. And when you're walking her, do you use any kind of walking training tools or just a regular harness or leash?
Just a regular harness and leash is all we've done so far.
Okay.
And treats. Ample treats, yes.
Okay. And what kind of dog is she again?
She is, we did her DNA, and they said she was majority French Bulldog with some English Bulldog and some Staffordshire Terrier.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I'm just taking notes.
No,
problem.
please.
Okay, and what are your other two dogs? How old are they and what sex?
Yeah, so we have Penny, who is a hound retriever mix, who is about 3, right? 3.5. And Ryder, who's about 2.5, who is a beagle retriever mix.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And do they exhibit any territorial behavior in the house?
No. I mean, if there's a super great toy, maybe, but no, we really don't have guarding issues or.
What about like if somebody knocks on the door, the doorbell rings, or somebody walks by?
Oh, so we have a balcony that overlooks a road, and Ryder barks
At every dog that goes
at
by.
everything, right? But I don't.
And Stella, Ryder and
Stella does too, but
Okay. And I'm sorry. What's the Frenchie's name again?
Oh, there,
Stella.
that's Stella.
Stella. Okay. So how does Stella get out the front door? You have like a clear glass screen door type of thing? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so the first time it happened, we had a clear glass screen door that hadn't been latched properly. It now has a double latch. And this last time, I just had a daughter was playing basketball and the screen door hadn't quite closed all the way behind her. And the big dogs were out for a walk and Stella was jealous and followed along and found a dog. So each time she can push open a door.
she's quite crafty.
Yeah, she's got a strong head.
Yeah. Okay. So, and the other dogs, they never have looked through this glass door at passersby or anything like that?
Oh yeah, they'll look through, and Ryder, not Penny, will bark if he sees a dog go by, but he would never.
Yeah, he doesn't really care about people that much. And
Yeah.
Penny doesn't care about either.
Okay. So he would bark, but that would be it.
Yeah.
Okay. And the two other dogs, they've been with you longer than Stella?
Yes.
Okay.
So they've been with us a few years.
Okay. All right. So really just Stella and then the one dog are the only ones that have, at minimum, vocalized at passersby.
Yes.
Okay. Stella just has the confidence to go a little further.
That's exactly it. She is
Yeah.
a confident little woman.
Right. Okay. So the good thing is that although she has this territorial behavior or potentially dog intolerance or strange dog intolerance, I should say, she's not willing to escalate that behavior, right? Because although she's made contact with other dogs, I mean, what is she, 35 pounds?
Right. With their teeth are barely there. They're like little, there's not a lot of injury causing machinery in her mouth.
Has she had teeth removed?
Well, I mean, nothing since we got her, but they're just sort of these little stumpy. Well, no, she's got teeth. You're right. So she could.
Okay. Well, my point being is, I mean, she could tear apart just about any dog.
Yeah.
I mean, like tear apart. So
she's not doing that. Yeah.
So again, that's the silver lining. Obviously, if these behaviors escalate and her, let's call it territoriality for now, if that behavior continued, and let's say a dog stopped and challenged her, in all likelihood it would escalate. And if it's a dog as capable or more capable than her, then obviously it would be a really bad situation. But so you're probably doing the right things by trying to bring a lot of treats on the walk and stuff and keep her focus on you. I'm guessing that's kind of what you're trying to do.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're on walks, is she like just constantly surveying, or is she just kind of enjoying the walk, but if something presents, she'll focus?
The latter.
That's exactly it.
She's very happy when she's on her walks. And in fact, she's not like, she doesn't have a great sense of smell or hearing or sight, right?
So we can usually tell when one's coming and spot it first and watch for her to see it and be ready with the treat, which is helpful.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I just want to make sure she's not out there and just waiting. Like,
no.
Okay.
No, she's not.
Okay. So when it, let's call it a trigger, another dog is presented and you bring the treats out, are you battling to keep her attention, or is it working and she's focused on you?
Oh no, it's a battle.
Okay, so then the treats are not working. Is that fair to say?
I mean, well,
It's better than when
it's I don't know, 50-50. Like, I mean, she's clearly motivated, right?
Let's think of this binary wise, right? It's working or it's not. If you had to answer.
it's better than it was.
Yeah.
Or it's better than if we forget to go and we don't have treats. So it works, but it is not enough to make walking her peaceful.
Yes.
Okay, so her behavior still presents regardless of what you try. So let's say it's not working.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Now we're getting to that point, right? But how long are you working on this now?
We've been working on that on her walks for a couple of months.
Okay. Does she have any trachea or brachial issues that would cause her to not be wearing a collar?
No.
Okay. All right. So I'm a pretty positive trainer.
Yeah.
But I'm also an operant conditioning trainer, which means I will use all 4 quadrants, right?
Yeah.
Which means I do believe in correction when warranted.
Yep.
Okay. And the thing with positive reinforcement, it's the single best way to teach a dog new behaviors. I don't care what any trainer says, and I'm doing this a long time. And like I said, I don't shy away from correction. But when I'm teaching a dog a new behavior, marking that behavior with positive reinforcement is the best way to shape, condition, and make that behavior reliable. Now, when we have a behavior where the behavior surpasses the efficacy of the food reward, we have to resort to something else.
Yep.
Okay, so that's kind of where my head is.
Yep.
The problem is I don't know her personally, which is a challenge when I do these Zoom things, is how do I guide people to properly correct their dog when I don't know the dog? That's why my first line of questioning is, are there any health issues, right? Because I don't want to recommend something if she has some kind of health issue, especially because she's a short muzzled dog. And
yeah.
So that's good that she has no health issues. Relationship wise, have you ever had any issues with her and you guys?
No, she is 100% love.
Okay.
And every stranger we meet, she's wonderful with people.
Okay, so your relationship is solid. Okay. And now is Michelle walking? Michelle is walking your dogs when you're away?
Yeah. She's been walking them once a day, every day.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Michelle has used the collar that I'm going to recommend, and so I can recommend this a little more at ease because I know you have Michelle kind of as
you can show us
my virtual hand up north kind of thing. But it's called the Star Mark collar.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of Prawn Collars.
Yes.
So it's similar in technology, but it's plastic and it's flat. And let me pull up a picture. I could share a picture. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, great.
And I'm hoping it would be enough for her. It sounds like because of your relationship with her, it will be enough for you. And as far as helping you disconnect her behavior, because we need to disconnect her behavior and then resort to obedience commands with the treats, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Because the treats alone are not working. So here, let me share this screen. Let me know when that picture pops up.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Right. So that's kind of what I pulled. I have one right here, but I pulled the picture up because it's usually easier for people to see. So you can see how it has the prongs and stuff. So
So it keeps from pulling.
It keeps from pulling, and it also affords us to correct appropriately. And the way it works is it kind of wraps evenly around the neck. So there's no single point of contact. So even a dog that has some trachea issues, it's in all likelihood wouldn't impact the dog, but because we want to keep it up high. The collar is supposed to be kept up high, and it's easy to use. Once the collar is sized, you literally just clip it on, clip the leash on, and you're ready to go. It does come with a safety loop too. So in the event the primary collar ever malfunctions, you have a safety backup. So from a safety standpoint, which is number one, because we can't be using any kind of training tool that's going to give her an opportunity to escape, because
Yes. Yeah.
that's not good for anybody.
Not for anybody,
Yeah.
that's right.
You know, and then number two, it's going to give us a level of correction that when we use it properly, it's fair. When, you know, it's not like we're flinging her around in the air on this training device.
Yeah.
It's not something that you leave on them all the time. You
Yeah.
know, it would we would probably just call it her walking collar. That's
Yep.
all it would be used for, right?
Yep.
You know, now environmentally at the house, the whole door thing is a whole different set of, you know, circumstances that, like you're doing, just securing that door is really your only line of defense, because if you're in the kitchen, I don't know how your home is set up, but let's say you're in another room and she's
Yeah.
by the door and there's a passerby with a dog and she's barking, that person and dog is just walking by the house.
Right.
But in Stella's mind, she's driving them away.
Definitely.
Right.
Yes.
So if you're not there, that behavior is just being conditioned with no human intervention at all. So it's really hard to address.
Yeah.
And that's where just lock the damn door. Or you're going to have to be on top of her all the time and really do some work.
Right. And you know, our just the way our house is kind of set up on a hill, so it's just so easy for them to watch these dogs walk by. And of course, during quarantine, everyone's walking their dog because it's the only thing we can do, right? So I think that's part of why it's gotten worse, is there's so many damn dogs walking by, right?
Yeah.
So, but she's pretty responsive with a treat in those situations, right? So if she's barking at a dog going by and I call everyone over for a treat, they're all coming.
Good. Yeah.
You know, that one's much more manageable than the other.
Right. And usually when the leash is involved, whatever the behavior, whether it's fear or assertiveness, the leash tends to intensify those emotions and behaviors that dogs exhibit, just basic fight or flight response stuff. The dog's tethered technically, so it tends to intensify. But you know, with the collar, and you know, once you guys get the collar, and I could share a quick little video I did with another person on how to use the star mark. But when you get the collar, we can have another quick Zoom call, and I can help you fit it. You know, and I'm sure Michelle can help you too. But if she can't, it just takes a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Just to kind of go over, because all the links they remove. You could remove the links and resize the collar however you need to. So, yeah. So we would, you know, because she's 35 pounds, but she's a Frenchie type. So she's probably got a big, beefy
It's very
neck.
wide.
Yeah. So she'll probably need the large collar, and then we could just take links off as opposed to buying a small collar and adding links. But then on the small collar, the safety loop's not going to fit over her head.
Right. Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can identify with that. I got a big noggin too. So yeah, the whole purpose of using the collar is, number one is we don't want to, you know, and obviously we can go over this again, but we don't want to correct her after she's exhibiting, right?
Right.
Because after she gets to that point of escalation, then yeah, I mean, we can still correct her and it'll work, but we'll have to use a harder correction. And we missed probably 3 or 4 thoughts that she had.
Yes.
Before she escalated, right? If we could read her body language, and even she has a nub, or does she have her whole tail?
Nub.
She's got a nub.
Definitely
Okay.
a nub.
Even with the nub, you can read that nub and see if it's elevated. You can see when her ears are pressing forward. You could tell when she's starting to stiffen up, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you can see it. It's
as soon as you see a shift in her energy is when you correct.
okay.
Because then it's just a little pop, just to get her
Yes.
attention. The more she escalates, the harder our correction has to be, which we want to try to avoid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And, you know, and it's not like it's going to impact your relationship. You guys already have a solid relationship with her.
Yeah.
You know, so, because the bottom line is there going to be a point in time when a dog and person sneak up on you and you weren't prepared.
Definitely. Yeah.
Or you were surprised, and Stella's going to find out first.
Right.
So, you know, shit happens. You deal with it when it happens. But ideally, because you guys are already head on a swivel kind of thing when you're walking her, in all likelihood.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right. So just like teaching a dog basic obedience, right? The repetition of teaching the sit and giving the treat causes them to always sit when they just hear the word after a while.
Yeah.
Right. So when we're on the walks, if we start seeing her posturing, you could use something like leave it, or some kind of word that precedes the correction. So it would almost be like, so if my hand is her and this is the leash, it would be leave it, right? So it would be leave it, pop, leave it, pop, right? So the leave it would come immediately before the correction. The repetition of that associated with her behavior towards other animals, she hears leave it after a while, she starts looking up to you.
Yep.
And avoiding the correction.
Yep.
Right. That's ideally our goal. Right. So, and that's where, again, trusting what you're seeing before she starts vocalizing and acting like a fool. All right?
Yes. Yeah.
When we correct body language and shifts in energy, we're correcting the mind. When we correct overt behavior, we already lost the opportunity to correct what the dog is feeling and thinking. Right.
Yeah.
Because if we can correct the feeling and thinking, and then we redirect them and make them sit and start giving them treats, then, right? Now we have the whole process coming into effect. Oh shit, I'm feeling this way, but wait, I think mom and dad want me to do something else. Let me see what they want. And that's where we want her to be. Now, it takes time, it takes repetition, but that's kind of where our goal is going to be. So,
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So on that note, how is her obedience overall?
Low.
Okay, so not good.
No.
What obedience commands has she been exposed to? Sit?
All she's got is sit.
Okay. Would you say her sit is reliable inside the house?
No.
No. I mean, no.
Okay, that's fine. It's okay. Okay.
She's she's headstrong, and we're not very good at this. So the combination in two is probably responsible.
Now I'm gonna yell at you.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're any good at this because you didn't put the time in.
That's true. Yep. So we could be.
Yes. You don't know if you're good or bad yet. And I can tell you right now, you're not bad. The thing is that you have dogs, and we're all guilty. I'm a dog trainer. My dogs behave how I need them to behave. They're not perfectly trained.
Right.
But they're obedient.
Yeah.
Right. I know people there whose dogs their obedience is like, it's awesome. I love watching them work their dogs. Better than my dogs, but my dogs are more obedient than their dogs. Right. And that's the difference between obedience and obedient. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And my dogs, they know sit down, come, stay, paw, roll over, all that goofy shit, but my go-to is sit. I need my dogs to sit under any circumstances. So if you have just one behavior and that behavior is sit, work your asses off to make that reliable. Okay. And that means multiple sessions during the day. And not that you have to set time aside, but if you're just walking around, grab a couple of treats, spend 30 or 40 seconds and do some sits with Stella, right? If you both did one or two little quick hits a day, right? You're going to have a reliable sit inside the house where there's no distractions. That's the prelude to outside with distractions.
Right.
If she's not performing inside, you can forget about it outside.
Yeah, exactly.
So start working on that. And if you could teach her, I'm sure she comes to you in the house when you call her.
Yeah,
mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
Right. Now we have come and sit that we can work on in the house. Right. Yep. So, Stella, come. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. And give her commands. Don't request it. No, sit. Come.
Right.
Come. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Command is a command. Have that contrast between the command, good girl, and the reward, right? Yeah. And the quicker she responds, the more gratuitous you could be with your verbal and physical praise, right? The faster she responds, she should get a higher reward, right?
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't get her too amped up. Some dogs, like I'm a pity guy. Like if I'm too gratuitous with my dogs, they get all like wriggly and stupid, So I'm like, good boy, good girl, just
Right.
keep it civil, But if she's little, she's smaller, so it's not like she's gonna launch and knock you guys over. So you
No.
could certainly be a little gratuitous if she earned it.
Yeah.
And the other dogs, yes, they're part of the equation, but for now we do need to focus on Stella because that's the wound we need to we need to stitch that wound up.
Right. Yeah. I find most training ends up being a group training session because the other two smartly want to join in for treats, right? But
and that's totally fine if you do that, but you do need to work Stella individually. Okay.
Yes.
And now, do you have a yard or?
We do, yeah.
Okay. Now, after you guys solidify working in the house for a week or two, and you start to see some the repetition of your daily routine starts to kind of materialize into, let's call it reliability, but we have a long way to go before reliability.
Yeah.
Once you start making that progress inside, take her out back on leash, and then you start doing your mini sessions out there. Because that, again, you have to start inside, no distractions. Backyard, there's distractions, but not like on a walk.
Right. And then front yard is our in between to the walk, right?
And that's your next level. That's your next step in the progression of getting her reliable. Now, obviously, you're still walking her, so you will also have opportunities to work her on the walks as well.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be as reliable as where distractions are lower.
Yeah.
And now once you get that collar, if you decide that you want to try the collar, if you get 4 or 5 days of reliability in the house and do some work in the yard, we'll have her sitting on command on walks. Okay. Right. And we'll be able to, kind of preemptive strikes for when she starts to spike and get overstimulated.
Okay.
That's, and then the other two, do they join you on walks or do you walk them individually?
We find it's well, if it's one of us, we take Stella on her own and then the other two on their own so that we can be one-on-one with Stella. If it's both of us, then one of us has Stella and one of us has the big two.
Okay, good. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously with Stella, I was going to say, if you weren't walking her alone, you need to, but that's already happening. So that's good. So have you noticed, does Stella act differently with or without the other dogs, or it doesn't matter whether they're present or not?
A little bit. Like, I mean, it's possible she'll get egged on by.
Yeah. So Ryder, who also likes to bark at other dogs, but Ryder is also reactive, just not aggressively reactive, right? So he will egg her on. If he barks at a dog, then she's going to join right in. And as we said, she's not real quick to notice. Sometimes Ryder notices first and sets her off.
Okay, so Ryder needs some work too then.
He does. I mean, because I think they egg each other on in terms of their reactivity.
They do.
Right? And now he's real fearful, so he's never going to be one to go charge another dog. But he's definitely going to bark at a dog that we pass. Okay.
So there's the example I was just talking about earlier, right? You add a leash and triggers to an equation, and the fearful and assertive dog are overtly acting the same, right? That's what we see, the same visual signs, vocalization, barking, and stuff like that. But one is confident enough to advance, and the other one is just full of shit. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That's
but
right.
Still, we need to address those behaviors because Ryder, can not cause her to regress, but she could certainly join in, and then now you guys are dealing with two dogs at one time. So
yes.
And then, obviously, again, if you decide to get the collar, you're working Stella with it, you see it's working, you might want to get one for Ryder too then.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
think that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and what kind of dog is Ryder?
He's a
Beagle
retriever mix.
Okay. So what, a medium 40-pound dog type?
He's more like 55, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, so he's about 50.
Yeah, he's like 45, 50, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's on the couch there.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And then obviously leadership type of things around the house. If you need to, you can make some modifications. I'm pretty sure you didn't invite Ryder up on the couch. He got up on his own.
Oh yeah.
So those are some things that you might have to modify to kind of boost up your leadership level. You know, and I can send you another. Did I send you my 7-day dog care challenge video?
No, I don't think so.
I'll send you that. It's kind of it's this 7-day challenge thing I did on YouTube, but really you don't have to add one thing for 7 days. It was just a stupid content thing, but
Right.
it's about daily massage, resource control, meaning having the dogs earn the privilege of resources in the house, mental stimulation, recreational chew treats, things along those lines to add into their lives, to improve, obviously to enrich their lives, but it's really to improve your leadership over them and to make all these things habits, not just for the dog, but for you guys too, which will have positive residual effects on behavior and relationship. So I'll make sure I send that to you.
Great.
And basically what resource control is nothing in life is for free.
Yep.
Food, treats, affection, playtime, furniture, getting the leash on, opening the front door before you go out. These are all resources or privileges that they have to earn, and they earn them just by a simple sit.
Okay.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
If
Yep.
they don't do something, they don't get anything. Right? When you feed them, you're probably making them sit before you feed them already.
They automatically sit for food. Yeah, they're good about that.
That's resource control.
That makes perfect sense. So I do it the same way before he jumps on the couch. I have him earn it.
With everything.
Yeah.
Now, what resource control does is it makes training every day, all day.
Yeah.
There's no setting time aside. It's not impacting your schedule. You don't have to make time. You don't have to wake up earlier or go to bed later. Yeah. Every single interaction with your dogs is an opportunity to make them earn a privilege.
Yep.
Right? And you'll know what's more important to them. Right? If it's a really valuable resource, you say sit, they're going to be like, yeah, okay.
Right. Dinner there. You don't have to say it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, and now with the sofa, if they get up on their own, that's going to be hard. This is a behavior that they never had to work for this resource.
Yeah. I'm just going to flip this screen. So can you see the other two? There you go. So yeah, they're used to that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, now, I mean, obviously, if you're in another room and they're on the couch, like,
right.
It is
right.
There's exceptions to every rule. We don't
have opportunity presented to make them earn it.
Yeah, like if you're going to sit down on the couch and they hop up, off.
Yep.
Get them off, sit. Good boy, good girl. Okay, come on up. That's it.
Yep.
Literally in 3 seconds, you are changing the entire culture of how they get up on the couch. And it doesn't cost us anything, time or otherwise. So
yeah, perfect.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how she responds to the collar, and you know, we can do walking videos too. Like if you use your smartphone, you can, you know, take me on a walk with you too if need be. But I think, you know, between us communicating and then getting Michelle involved too, we'll have a lot of hands at our disposal to work through this.
That's awesome.
So, sound like a plan?
Sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
And as I mean, we come down your way, so if we decide it's worth doing the in-person, she could certainly, we didn't get a dog-friendly house this time just because so much quarantining in the house with dogs, we're ready for our vacation.
Yeah, I hear you.
Usually we want to bring them to the beach. This time we didn't, but she could certainly come down if we decided that was, you know, necessary.
Right. Yeah, and that's totally, because you're going to be on Bald Head Island.
Yeah.
I'm 20 minutes from, oh my God, I just lost track of that town.
Southport.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm literally 20 minutes from Southport, so you know, it's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you came down with her, and like I said, I got plenty of guinea pigs. I have good dogs. I have assholes, so we got a nice mix here.
Perfect.
Yeah. But so yeah, if you get the collar, you know, just shoot me an email or a text or whatever, and you know, we could just hop on a quick Zoom if you need help fitting it or whatever, and then we'll go from there.
That sounds perfect.
Sound like a plan?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, it was nice meeting you, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's a wrap. Another episode is in the books. And hey, if you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up and take a peek around my channel. If you like what you see, consider subscribing to my channel. Click that bell so you get notified when I upload new content as well. And I'll see you guys soon.